Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 2 of the Inappropriate Podcast with me. It is I, your host, Brooke, aka White Trash Barbie, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm working on getting that. I'm working on getting some kind of handle that's related to me on Twitter because I just created a Twitter yeah, I know. I'm like super late to the game. I've had other Twitter accounts, but like they weren't associated with me, like, because I've used them for other things. Anyways, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but point is, White Trash Barbie on Instagram and TikTok. It is 8:30 a.m. on Monday, July 15th, here in good old Tennessee. I'm kidding. I love Tennessee. I love Tennessee. Okay. I was born and raised here. I am a Tennessee girl at heart. Tennessee girl to my fucking core. All right. I love it here. Anyways, yeah, it's fucking early as shit. I didn't want to get up this early. I didn't want to get up this early. I was going to like sleep in, but, my roommate has to be at work at 6:30 a.m. on Mondays. So my ass was up and here we are. And I basically I woke up and I was like, I got to thinking, okay, I couldn't sleep in. I had to my roommate I woke up because my I heard my roommate getting ready for work this morning at 5:45, and ever since then I've been up, been doing research, okay? And I got to tell you guys why. So last night my roommate and I were watching the news, as one does, and aside from literally all they can fucking talk about is the attempted assassination of Trump, which I don't know how much I believe that, but we'll get into that later. Not trying to be insensitive. Don't come at me. But anyways, so moving on. Something else that they were talking about on the news last night, and people need to know, okay? Like, because I didn't know, I was unaware, but people need to know. So they were talking about the death of a literal cultural icon, okay? This woman changed like the culture of sex and sexuality from like 19 and like just the conversation around sex and sexuality. This woman like completely opened it up. She like ripped the motherfucking band-aid off. She's a sex therapist, okay? And her name is, let me get my little paper of notes here. Her name is Ruth Westheimer, okay? And I may or may not have heard of her, but if I had in the past, I totally forgot and I was not like I did not remember her at all, okay? And I'm sad that I didn't. I'm sad that I didn't know what an icon that she is, but here we are. That is why we are talking about her right now because I got to tell y'all what a fucking icon this woman is. She died. Oh shit, I probably should have looked that up. Hold on, let me look that up real fucking quick. We're just gonna Google it. Let's see. Ruth, when, shit, when did, oh my God, Ruth Westheimer die? Okay, July 12th. Okay, so she passed away on Friday. All right, at the age of 96 years old. All right, so Ruth Westheimer, sex and sexuality icon, like opened up the conversation of sex and sexuality, like starting in 1982 or 83 or something like that, up until literally last Friday. And she passed away at the age of 96 years old. Okay. Let me tell you all about this woman. All right. So she was born in Germany to a Jewish family. That right there, like, said that right there, I don't even really feel like I need to explain, right? She's got a Jewish family living in Germany, fucking in like 1928. Okay. Yeah. So we're just gonna let that settle in for a second. So her family sends her to Switzerland. Her family at 10 years old, her parents send her to Switzerland because the Nazis were taking over and they were afraid for her safety. So her parents stayed behind and sent her off to Switzerland to live for her safety. Well, basically, sadly, tragically, her parents died, of course, not of course, sorry, but her parents died at concentration camps. So she never saw her parents again after the age of 10. All right. This woman was trained as a sniper at at 17 years old. This woman was trained as a fucking sniper. She's 4 feet 7 inches tall. She's not even 5 feet tall. Literally, okay, so I'm 5'6". This woman is almost an entire foot shorter than me. And she's trained as a sniper at 17 years old, okay? She goes to school, she goes to college, whatever, studies psychology, and then she goes back to school. She gets her Master of Arts in sociology, and then later, at 42 years old, she goes on to get her PhD in education. She begins her career in media on the radio, and she starts this show. So basically, it started as it was just going to be, it was 15, it started as in 15-minute segments at literally midnight on like one day a week, 15-minute segments at midnight. And she was basically supposed to be teaching on the importance of birth control and safe sex. And hold on, let me see. What did I write down? Hold on. I need a sip of my coffee. Just give me like a second to just breathe. Hold on. Okay. Well, I can't find my fucking notes, but basically, she started her career in radio, doing a 15-minute segment at midnight once a week, and it was basically her teaching on the importance of having safe sex and using contraception and birth control, right? So what happened was NBC like catches on to this, and they're like, this could really be something, because people were like really enjoying it. People were tuning in. So NBC turns this shit into a 2-hour call-in show. And basically, these people would call in and ask Dr. Ruth, that's like what she went by. They would ask Dr. Ruth questions about their relationships, questions about their sex life, sexual function, genitalia, love, relationships, all that stuff. And she would respectfully give them honest, educated answers and advice. And it is said that she and her show were known for being warm, cheerful, and respectful. The show was called Sexually Speaking. She had a tag phrase, which this was crazy to me, because we literally say this now, like still to this day. And I wonder if it came from her. And and that is, the tag phrase was and is, get some. So I guess like that was like her tag phrase. She would say, get some. After not even a year on the air, her show was getting more than 2 million views per week. She hosted several shows on different cable TV networks. She was quoted to be a major cultural figure. She appeared on several different TV shows. She was in a movie. She was on the cover of People magazine. And if you're tuning in and you don't know what People magazine is, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, like weekly magazines in American, like United States, like popular culture, basically. Celebrity news, popular culture, human interest stories and pieces. Okay, it is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, for a long time, weekly magazines. If you're on the cover of People magazine, like, you've made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've made it. So she was on the cover of People magazine. Let's see. She did several commercials, which, oh my God, that's so fucking funny. So I looked up one of them because I just had to know. And it was an Herbal Essences commercial. And basically, this woman's kind of like having an orgasm because she's washed her hair with Herbal Essences. And y'all know Herbal Essences smells like amazing. That's their thing. That's their shtick, is that Herbal Essences smells incredible, which it's true. They do. Anyways, so this commercial is basically this woman fucking orgasming, like, because she's smelling her hair. And then little Miss Ruth, all 4'7" of little Miss Dr. Ruth comes up, and she's like, if you like the shampoo, you gotta try the body wash. Like, after this woman is oh. And so it's just the cutest thing ever. But I think that's why people felt so comfortable, like, talking to her, because she's just so, like, she's just like this short little, like, grandma. The cutest thing. So yeah, she's in several commercials. She hosted multiple videos for Playboy. She wrote 45 books on sex and sexuality. Y'all, one book is hard. Like, 2 books, 3 books, huge accomplishment. So much work, years, right? This woman wrote and published 45 fucking books. Are you insane on sex and sexuality? All right. There was a 2019 documentary made about her called Ask Dr. Ruth. She was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. She completely changed the culture around the topic of sex and sexuality and just like opened the conversation up to become something that is acceptable to talk about and acceptable to ask questions about. She paved the way for women like myself and other women who openly, talk on their social media platforms about sex. And I had to do some research. I had to get to know this woman because I was like, oh my God, she literally changed a generation. Like this woman is what do they call it? She's a generational like staple. And this is the lady that wrote the original Sex for Dummies book. But I just wanted to honor her legacy and be grateful to her stepping out and doing the damn thing. She stepped out and she did the damn thing. And she paved the way for the rest of us. So I had to give honor and credit where credit is due. So moving on. The rest of today's topic of conversation is going to be on sex and sexuality in honor of our cultural icon and queen, Ruth Westheimer. So, moving on to the next topic on today's agenda. So, I did some Googling. And I came across one that is controversial to say the least. It is definitely something that can be talked about and debated about endlessly. And that is the topic of porn. And is watching porn bad? Is it okay? Is it a healthy sexual practice that, two partners, two consenting partners can do together? And I wanted to talk about this because I feel like I'm in the minority on this. Like, I don't think watching porn is a negative thing. I think just like anything else, if you are addicted to it, just like if you're addicted to alcohol, if you're addicted to drugs, if you're addicted to eating, if you're addicted to food, if you're addicted to, I don't know, anything, any kind of addiction, right? It's not a good thing. Addiction's not a good thing. So in that sense, I understand where people are coming from, right? Porn can be bad when you are addicted to it. The reason that I wanted to bring the reason I liked this question and I wanted to talk about this specific topic is because something that bothers me is that I disagree with the statement, that generally speaking, that that watching porn is bad for you, that it, can mess with your mental health. Like, again, this is something that could be discussed and debated for hours on end because it's just so nuanced and it's just such a gray area. And there's just so many different elements in every scenario and everything, every scenario is different, right? But if we're generalizing and saying, in my opinion, that porn is not a bad thing, I think that it can be used in the right way. Not a bad thing. I think that it can be a fun sexual practice with consenting partners. And I say that because it can be educational, right? Like you can learn different things to spice it up in the bedroom with your partner from watching porn. You can. It's true. And like, again, I'm not saying that everything that's in a porn video is what needs to be practiced, right? There are things that, what am I trying to fucking say right now? I'm saying it can be educational and it can spice things up, right? It can turn you on. And if both partners are okay with that and consenting, then I just don't understand what is so wrong with that? Why do we have to have this annoying ass, God, it just irritates me, this annoying ass generalized statement that watching porn is terrible. Watching porn is bad. Watching porn is bad for your mental health. Why? Why the fuck is it bad? If you're watching porn that is not, that is legit, right? Came from a legit source, that everyone in that video is consenting. Everyone in that video is an adult. Everyone in that video, like, they knew what they were signing up for. It's all adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, the circumstances are clean. That's the way that I'm going to put it. If you know that the source that you are getting this video that you're watching, this porn video that you're watching, if you know that the source is clean, what is wrong with watching it? Like, it can help get you turned on. It can help get you going. Like, this is just, yeah, I just disagree with that so much. It pisses me off, honestly. People just use this blanket statement that, like, I'm just so tired of fucking seeing it. I see it on social media all the time. And, like, I watch a lot of, I watch and I listen to a lot of like, not self-help, but like self-development and like self-growth and stuff like that, like content like that. And a lot of it like speaks negatively about porn and just again puts this like blanket statement in regards to porn out there saying that it's bad and that it can corrupt your mind and that it can mess with your mental health and that blah 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 and all this other stuff. And why? Why do we have to say that about all of it? That's not true. Like that is just it's just not fucking true. Not all porn is bad. Not all porn is bad porn. Like again, if it's coming from a company that you know everybody's consenting, everybody's okay with it, everybody's an adult, they know what the fuck they were signing up for. You know what I mean? Like there is no what's the word that I'm looking for? There is no trafficking involved, right? Like because I understand that side of it. I get that side of it. When I say if the porn is coming from a clean source, I don't see anything wrong with it. When I say clean source, I mean there is no trafficking involved and everyone is a consenting adult. That's what I mean when I say it's coming from a clean source. Okay. I just completely disagree. I think that it can be something that gets you going, gets your partner going. It can give you ideas for things that you all can try. It can be educational. Like, you know, if you are not experienced in the sex department and you don't even know where to start, it can be an educational outlet for you if you are, again, just getting into sex and understanding sex and things like that. If I'm being honest, it just irritates me when people just broadly say porn is bad, watching porn is bad. No, I disagree. I completely disagree. It can be bad, right? Just like anything can be bad, watching porn can be bad. Having a cocktail isn't necessarily bad, but having 10 cocktails, yeah, that's really that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing, right? So anything can be bad. But that doesn't mean that filming and or watching sexual acts itself is bad. And another thing too, I don't know, another discussion about this topic that I want to touch on, at least here in the South and the generation that I grew up in, sex was just like not talked about and just seen as like super taboo. And, you know, if you talked about it, then especially if you were a woman or are a woman and you talk openly about sex, you're seen as promiscuous, even if you're just speaking about it. Like you're just, there's like automatically almost, there's like this label that's put on you like, well, she's, she's promiscuous. She's a hoe, like, you know, whatever. She's slutty because she talks about sex like it's okay, you know, like so personally I feel like porn can be something that makes sex more okay to talk about and more okay to learn about and more okay to watch and more okay to do. When we constantly like make it this thing that's like hidden and not talked about, how is anybody supposed to practice it safely? Like if they don't know anything about it, right? Like how are we supposed to keep ourselves from getting STDs? How are we supposed to avoid unwanted pregnancies if we never speak and know absolutely nothing about sex, you know? Like, so I feel like porn can also be good in the sense that it creates more acceptance around sex and how to have sex, you know, and sex and healthy sexual practices and you know healthy sexual relationships, oh my god, healthy relationships with the sexual partners. And with that comes more education about sex and more understanding and more discussions and more, you know, open conversation again about the whole topic of sex, which again has been, at least here in the South, so taboo to talk about and speak about or think about, you know, especially to film or watch, like, and specifically for women. Like, there's this fucking automatic label that gets put on us if we ever talk about sex or we dress a certain way or we admit that we have sex or we admit that we like sex. Like, yes, I like sex. I enjoy sex. I fucking masturbate Probably every day, honestly. Like, like, I just don't understand why the fuck that's not okay. It's healthy. Like, fuck off, you know? And there shouldn't be this immediate label that's put on women for admitting sexually explicit content in general can create more acceptance around sex and sexuality, specifically in regards to women and them expressing their sexual preferences and their sexuality and their interest in sex, and take away some of this bullshit ass taboo that you can't be a woman who also enjoys and speaks about and is open about sex. Like, fuck all of that. It's annoying. It's bullshit. Excuse me. And it perpetuates, like, keeping sex as this private, dirty, like, shameful thing, which it shouldn't be. And which it just shouldn't fucking be. Another thing, if sex is seen as something shameful and something that women aren't allowed to talk, well, then if something bad happens to them sexually, like they get sexually assaulted, for example, there's so much shame around that they're never going to speak about it. They're never going to speak out about it. They're never going to seek help. Why? Because there's so much fucking shame heaped on them. So that's another thing that this making sex taboo perpetuates. When anyone is harmed sexually, having all this shame around it keeps them from seeking help and keeps them from telling anyone, which then allows the perpetrator to continue doing what they're doing and harming other people because people are too afraid to say anything about it, because it's this taboo thing that they're ashamed to tell anyone about, that they're ashamed to talk about. So if we continue to open up the conversation and make sex normal and make sex okay and make watching sex okay and make filming sex okay and make looking at, the naked body okay, like if we begin to normalize these things like they should be fucking normalized in the first place, then we can begin to feel less shame around sex as a whole, whether that's sexual harassment, whether that's, sexual assault, or whether that's literally just you're afraid to tell your partner that you want to try something freaky in the bedroom, right? Like, so I think that porn can be a good thing. I think that adult sexually explicit content can be a good thing. And again, I understand the other side. It, just like anything, it can be a bad thing. I feel like I've preached on that long enough, so I'm going to move on. The next topic of conversation is kissing. Now, I kiss a lot of people, as I'm sure a lot of you also have. And something that I think, something that I'm grateful for is that I had a boyfriend when I was a teenager who taught me how to kiss. And I cannot, like, the guy, looking back, the guy is and was an asshole. Like, but the one thing he did for me was teach me how to kiss. I'll give the piece of shit that much, at least. He taught me how to kiss. Um, so I look back on that, and I'm super grateful because I like I said, I've kissed a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know how to kiss. And I'm not talking like a pop kiss. I'm talking like make out, you know what I'm saying? Like tongue. I'm talking like your tongue is on the other person's tongue. A lot of people do not know how to do that properly. Like, and I know an experience for me, and I assume it happens for other women and maybe men. I don't know. I'm not a guy, but point is, an experience that I've had a lot of times with people, and the whole reason I wanted to bring this up and talk about it is that when people don't know how to kiss, they slobber all over your fucking face, right? Like, because that's what's in the movies. Like, that's what we see all over TV and movies. Whenever there's a sex scene or a makeout scene, people are, it's just like this, like, super aggressive, like, slobbering all over each other's face. And that is actually not the right way to kiss. That is just, that's what's on TV and movies. That's it. That is not how you kiss. But that's how we grow up assuming that that's how you're supposed to kiss. Because again, we learn from, what am I trying to say right now? Okay. That's one of the ways that we learn about like that's one of the ways that we learn about how to go about kissing and making out is we watch popular culture. And so because of that, so many people assume that that's how you're supposed to kiss. And I know that I was one of those people. Like before I had this boyfriend, again, when I was a teenager who taught me how to kiss, he was a couple of years older than me. Before before him, I didn't really know how to kiss. And I was like, I'll be honest, I was like the slobber mouth because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Because again, that's what's on TV, that's what's on movies, that's what you, anytime you see a hot, sexy makeout scene or a sex scene in a movie, they're fucking like sucking each other's faces off. And so that is when I was younger, that is what I thought that you were supposed to do. And so I'm thankful to this boyfriend that I had back then for teaching me. So I'm gonna speak about it now. I'm gonna speak about it now, and maybe this will help some people. Maybe maybe somebody's out there and they're like, my girlfriend never wants to kiss me, or my boyfriend never wants to kiss me, and I don't understand why. Well, maybe this could help you. I don't know. Maybe this is one of the reasons because maybe this could help you. Maybe this is one of the reasons that your partner does not want to kiss you. Maybe you are slobbering all over their face, and that is why they avoid the kissing. So, because it was taught to me, which helped me, and I'm utterly grateful for, and have been grateful for years, my entire fucking life. I've been grateful for this. Every time I have kissed somebody and they also know how to kiss, I'm like, oh my, thank fucking God, you're a good kisser. Because, like, there is nothing worse than somebody who, again, who is like sucking your face off. And then when you're done with it, you have to literally, like, take the fucking sleeve of your shirt to just, like, wipe your face off. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's just fucking, oh, like, it's just not for me. Not for me. The way to think about this is less is more. I'm going to say that again. The way to think about this is less is more. And what I mean by that is if you're going to make out with somebody and you want to, like, begin kissing them, don't open your mouth as wide as it can fucking go. Like, you are barely opening your mouth just enough so that you can slip your tongue out and your lips can touch theirs, okay? And you're moving your tongue, and that is it. You're not shoving your tongue down their throat. You're not pushing your tongue out as far as it can go. You're not doing any of that shit. No, ma'am, no, sir. That is not what you're doing, okay? Your mouth is open just enough so that you can stick your tongue out and touch theirs. And your lips are touching. Your lips are not covering their mouth. Your lips are not like your lips are not taking up half of their face. No, no. Your lips are touching their lips just enough so that you're in contact with each other's lips and your tongues are dancing. That's the way I'm going to put this. Your tongues are gently dancing with each other, right? That is less is more. That is what I'm trying to say. And then you're not going to do that forever, okay? You're going to pull back a little bit. You're going to finish the kiss for a second, okay? Then you're going to go back in, but it's going to be gentle, okay? It's going to be same thing. Mouth is barely open. Tongues are just out enough to do a little dance with each other, okay? Tongues are not being shoved down throats. Tongues are not being, like, stuck out so far as you can possibly go. No, we're not doing that, okay? That's not it. That ain't it, baby. That ain't it. So yeah, you're going to pull back and then you might go back in gently. You might do a little pop kiss and then maybe open it up again for some tongue dancing. Um, but yeah, and then you just do that, and then just do that over and over again. And let me just tell you, oh my God, it is so much better. It is so much nicer. It is so much more enjoyable when, first of all, you don't have someone's mouth taking up half of your face. Second of all, you don't have to wipe their slobber off. It's disgusting. Like, ew. Nobody wants to fucking wipe your slobber off of their face when you're done kissing them. All that to say, you're just gonna do that. Less is more. Okay, so principle number one, less is more, right? Principle number two, you're just gonna do that same, like where your lips are just touching each other enough to come in contact, okay? And then the tongue is doing like the gentle dance. And you're gonna do that over and over and over again. And let me tell you, you will enjoy kissing. So like maybe I should let me rewind a little bit. Let me explain this. So I hated making out. I hated making out for years because I did not know what the fuck I was doing, and the people that I was with did not know what the fuck they were doing. So after this boyfriend taught me how to kiss, and he knew how to kiss. I mean, I'm telling you, I could make out with this man for hours because it's just so much more fun. It's so much better. It's so much more enjoyable. It's so much more sensual because because it's just gentle, right? Like it's not a contest. You're not trying to prove anything. You're not, it's none of that. Before I learned how to make out, how to actually kiss, I hated doing it. And after I learned, if you can find a partner that also knows how to kiss, I'm telling you, it is so fun. It's amazing. If you got two people that are both really good kissers, y'all, it is, I mean, oh, like it is so good. It is so fun. It's the best thing ever. Not the best thing ever, but there are better things, but it's amazing. That's all I'm saying. So if you hate kissing, maybe this can help you. Or maybe your partner sucks at kissing. So I would just say, like, obviously do go about it in a respectful, kind manner, but you can do what my boyfriend did with me and be like, and just explain it. Be like, hey, so, when you kiss me, you I would prefer that you don't get slobber all over my face. Maybe just like close your mouth a little more, and you don't have to be so aggressive, right? Like just go about it in a respectful way and explain that and be like, it makes me not want to kiss because I don't like slobber all over my face. So explain that to your partner, do it in a respectful way, and I'm telling you, it will open up the gates of heaven as far as making out goes. So I definitely I just felt very strongly about that because it's just I don't think it's a topic that people talk about enough. I don't think it's a topic that is explained enough. I think that it has been left to popular culture. It has been left to TV and movies to explain to people and educate people on how to kiss and make out. And it and the way that it is portrayed in media is terrible. Okay, I'm gonna move on now to the last topic of the day, which is not sexual anymore. We're moving on from the sexual. We're moving on from the topic of sex, and we're moving on to this whole assassination attempt of Trump. And when I was watching the news after, after this assassination attempt of Trump, because they replay it over and over again. They replay these clips over and over again, the same clips, on every news channel for hours at a time. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it, and you'll understand exactly what I'm about to talk about. So the reason that I bring this up is because if you watch these videos of like right when this like when Trump gets shot, if you watch this video, none of the people in the crowd, like barely anyone, is moving or running or ducking or freaking out. Like, so I don't understand that because like I've seen other news stories, and other videos of bombings and shootings and things like that, and every time people are running for their life, people are ducking, people are hiding behind anything they can find, they're crying, they're screaming, they're freaking out. Like, why? Because it's an actual emergency. Yeah, it's horrifying. It's the most traumatic, one of the most traumatic things somebody can go through, right? And so when me and my roommate were watching this news story, and they show the clip of Trump getting shot at, all I can think is, Why are more people not running? Why are more people not ducking? Why are more people not screaming? Why are more people not hiding? There's just too many people that don't give a fuck, in my opinion. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I know that there's a lot of theories going around out there right now about this. I don't agree or disagree with any specific theory, but all I can do is say what I'm seeing. And I'm just a little thrown off and confused when I watch these videos and these people are just sitting there watching this happen, like on their filming it on their phones. Like, okay, I know we all film shit all the time. I know, right? Like we're filming, we're constantly on our phones. We're constantly filming everything that we do, especially, I'm sure, especially if you go see, a former or future president speak, you're going to be filming that shit. I get that. That's not the issue for me. The issue for me is that almost no one, the majority of the people on those bleachers behind him and just all around in the crowd are not acting afraid. They do not look scared to me. It does not look like an emergency. Like they are not making it look like an emergency. And it's confusing. It raises a lot of questions for me. It does. I just have to be honest. It's very confusing for me. It is. It doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense to me. And I know that everybody reacts to trauma and emergency situations differently. I get that. But what I don't get is how almost everyone in this video seems very nonchalant, very unbothered. All the while, this president just got shot and there are still being shots fired. And if you look at this video, while these shots are being fired, people are sitting in these bleachers. They're not moving. They're not ducking. They don't care. They're just so indifferent and so unbothered by this critical, horrifying, emergency situation, tragedy, because someone lost their life. And it just raises a lot of questions for me. So maybe this will open up that conversation. You guys let me know your thoughts. I know there's a lot of theories going around out there. Everybody's got their own opinion, everybody's got their own thoughts, but I just had to express my thoughts because a lot of it doesn't make sense to me and I have a lot of questions. So I want to know your all's thoughts. I want to know your theories. I want to know what you have to say about the topics that I've spoken about today and, any feedback that you have, ideas for topics to cover in the future on this podcast. I am always open to new ideas and new topics. So anything that you have, any kind of feedback, any conversation, discussion topics you want me to cover, throw them out there. And just put them out there and whatever resonates with me, I will do my best to discuss on here. But I'm going to end the episode there. Thank you so much for listening to episode 2 of the Inappropriate Podcast with me, your host, Brooke, aka White Trash Barbie. I love you guys so much for being here and still being here. I love you guys so much for still being here if you are still here. And I will see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful day.